Well, hello, and welcome to the Legacy Insights podcast. And I am your host, Mov'n Mike, in season 2 of the Legacy Insights podcast. And this episode, number 3, is based on no plan, no peace. Right? So we're going to jump right into this segment. Right? I'm your host, Mov'n Mike, and we're here to discuss entrepreneurship and the financial to get you to your financial goals and dreams. Simply put, we're going to provide insight to get your mind and your money right. All right, we're going to be covering tips, tricks, interviews, strategies, talking with business leaders from all spectrums, just to make sure that you get the information that they have and that I'll be sharing. So this is going to be a really important show this year for this episode because we're talking about no plan, no peace in 2026. This is really something. It's really big. So I want you to consider a few things as we go through this episode. And the biggest part about it is please get your pens and your paper out, right? I've got my trusty show notes here. And as I drop these gems and these nuggets, these are going to be thought provoking, actionable items that you can apply to your life right away. That's what this show is all about. That's what the aim and the goal is, to get you in the right space, the right frame of mind, so that you can take action right away. So here we go. So consider these things, get that pen and paper, make sure that you keep an open mind. You need to know what a legacy is, how do you create a legacy, and then what a legacy isn't. You know, it's not always about money. It is basically, how do you want to be remembered? Are you truly building it the way you intend? Right? That's one of the pillars, alignment. Are you really, your thoughts, actions, and your strategy all in alignment, right? To build that legacy that you're looking to build. So my goal is to help you becoming a better informed individual, entrepreneur. So it's time to let's get smarter. So let's jump right on into this episode here, episode 3 of 2026. No plan, no peace. And I want you to consider this: why drifting is the fastest way to kill your legacy. Most people don't understand that term drift. Okay. Um, you know, when it comes to the financial um, planning, you can basically sum it up to like a boat without a rudder, right? Just being lost at sea. So now you're just out there bobbing around, doing what you normally do, and not realizing that over time you're drifting away from your goals and your dreams. We don't want to see that happen to you. Not with this show. Not with the goals that we have planned out and the strategies that we're going to be providing. So let's jump right in this. If you don't tell your money where to go, it's going to disappear. I always talk about your dollars must have a destination, right? That is the ultimate in financial IQ, right? I said financial literacy is old news. We don't have to talk about financial literacy already. Knowing is not enough anymore. It's about actionable plans, call to actions, and insight to get your mind and your money right. So I'm going to ask you a question. Do you have a plan, or do you have pressure? Two different things. Do you have a plan, or do you have pressure? Do you act on your obligations when it's just about too late, or it's already late? Because see, being proactive means that you've already got a plan in place, so that things don't have to get so late and drawn back, and that you must react rather than respond. So do you have a plan, or are you under pressure? Right? So that's where we're going here. Because if you don't have a plan, you're not going to have any peace. That's what this episode is all about. So drifting is the silent wealth killer. Not having budgets, not having a strategy, not having a goal, not having focus and clarity of vision and purpose will cause you that drift. So we're going to jump into all of that I just mentioned. And so let's keep this thing going here. What drifting looks like. Okay, most people say, okay, I get you, Mike, but can you really identify it? Here we go. Drifting is an action, but it also requires that you know why you're drifting. To mean to say, if you don't have a written budget, you're going to drift. So people understand, yeah, well, yeah, I'm going to drift because I don't have it. But do you have a written budget? Okay. This causes a big delay, or even worse, missing the goal of a financial win. So if you don't have that budget, you can almost for certain say you're not going to win. The second sign of drifting is no savings target. You must have clarity. You must have clarity. No savings budget. A ship without a rudder, I talked about that earlier, is a ship lost at sea. Your savings target has to be a stated amount of cash. It has to be an actual number. Like most people say, I want to be rich. Well, what is rich? To some people, it's $1,000. Some people say, I paid my house off and I'm $1 over my expenses. Okay. Yeah, that's rich. You're all your expenses are paid and you have $1. Basically, you don't have anything else to do, right? You got $1. You're good. You're on the positive side, right? You will never know you've arrived if you do not have a savings target. You will never know that you've arrived. So you must have that so that you don't drift. Number 3, no investment strategy. Like I just said, a ship without a rudder is lost at sea. It's just out there bobbing around, going wherever the current takes it. So if you don't have an investment strategy, how do you know that you've ever arrived? Because that investment strategy will give you a stated goal, a stated amount, a stated plan, strategy that you can go by and live by. Okay, how do you know how do you plan or grow your portfolio when the vehicle works best for your family's future? Okay, so that's really what it boils down to. How do you plan on growing your portfolio? Your savings target has to be stated amount of cash, right? And what vehicle works best for your family's future? Home buying, vacations, college, travel, and retirement. So your retirement strategy has these stated goals in it. Your savings target will allow you to hit your investment strategy. But once you have that budget in place, it's going to put you to where your goal. Okay? These are things that are going to keep you from drifting. And then most of all, out of that, most people who drift do not have a protection plan. Okay? You're working hard. How do you protect the assets that you've acquired? Do you know what it takes and how much protection you need? Right? What combination of asset protection plans would provide you the best security for you and your family? See, because one size doesn't fit all, and one protection plan does not cover everything. So you must know the combination of protection, strategies, plans, contracts to cover your portfolio. This might sound basic to some of you, but how many of you actually have it in place? So this show is about getting the basics so that you can start building, so that then we can move toward the more advanced strategies and in contracts and plans that are out there. Because you got to start looking at where you are. What are the holes that are missing? Right. So that's what this is all about. So let's keep this going. Okay, because no clear legacy vision. Most people have no clear legacy vision, right? We're going to use the 6 pillars of the legacy framework to help guide you in this mission. It's going to get you in alignment, right? And I'm going to talk about that one of those pillars, the 4th pillar, alignment quite often, right? It's pivotal in self-development. Okay, this is going to get you to your stated goals. These 6 pillars. You're going to go to the past episode where we talk about the 6 pillars. You're going to listen, learn what the 6 pillars can help you do. Right. So that's key. But we're going to be talking about um, the alignment in this episode, so that you can actually start getting things together. Drifting feels normal until there's emergency that happens, right? So what did that statement really saying? It's saying that, right, we go about our days almost oblivious to what we're spending, what our habits are, the victims that we fall a habit to in our financial you know misrepresentation. We listen to the commercials, we go with the fashion, right? Even one of my episodes are going to be talking about that, right? And I don't want to give it away just yet, but we're going to be talking about you know what retail does, right? What the marketing does to us mentally, right? It's all about knowing who you are, right? Because it feels normal, right? Just going about your day, swiping, spending, buying, enjoying yourself, right? We talk about niceties over necessities. That's the core of drifting, right? You got to know who you are. So as we move along here, we're going to be talking, it's more about the hidden cost of not having a plan. So there's a cost associated with it. When you don't have a plan and you finally wake up to the devastation of your habits, credit card debt, um, not bills, no money in your savings account when it's time to pay the rent or pay the credit card bills, right? Those are the hidden costs of not having a plan. You get to the point where you start having some stress, and stress brings about bad decisions. Stressing will cause you to just do things out of the norm. We already know this. What are some of the stresses that you feel, and how do you act out when you're stressed? Some people eat, some people go shopping, other people exercise to relieve the stress, or when they're really stressed, do they pick arguments, right? When people are not happy because of the way they're stressed, you make bad decisions, and some financial ones. Lifestyle creep. These are the hidden costs of not having a plan. Lifestyle creep. Like I just mentioned, you go shopping, right? Oh, I don't have the money anyway, so I might as well just spend it. How many of you heard that before? Okay. How many of you have done that before? Well, I haven't got all the money to pay the bill anyway. I might as well go get what I want, right? Or I don't feel like cooking tonight. I know I don't really have a whole bunch of money, but I'm not cooking tonight because I'm tired. I'm going to buy, some takeout and have it delivered. Now that 12 to $18 pizza is almost $30 because some guy brought it to your door, right? That from a place that did not have a delivery service, right? It's going against the natural order of saving first, spending second. Missed time. Now, I already talked about time being your biggest asset, but when it comes to your money, because your money is more today than it will be tomorrow. If you've taken that money that you were spending frivolously and put it into a compounding interest account, guess what would have happened? You would have gained that compounding, but you've missed it because you don't have a plan, you don't have a budget, right? You don't have a strategy, right? Some other hidden cost: family confusion of not having a plan, generational reset. It happens over and over and over again because if the children don't see that you're taking responsibility with your money, your income, your planning, how are they going to do it? And let me just share this with you. We just helped our granddaughter get set up with her first banking account, savings account, checking account, right? We've got to teach our children good money habits. We can't be afraid to talk about being in debt and being and then winning when you're saving money. You can't, you should not be afraid. I can't say, I don't want to say you can't. What I want to say is be proactive, be responsible, talk about the things that could happen if they're not responsible or mature with their money. Right? Money is a tool. There's no one's born with all this knowledge. No one's born with the knowing the right thing to do. So there's going to be some mistakes, but guess what? We can minimize those mistakes by teaching the children young. Like I said, we just helped our granddaughter get our first banking account, and she was really very happy about that. So I'm really proud of her to have done that as well. So this all comes back to the legacy framework. If you don't define the legacy, life will decide it for you. That goes without saying, but you need to hear it so that you can apply it. I hope that you're writing some of these nuggets down so that you can apply them right away. That's what this show is all about. That's what this show is all about. So, how many of you are actually building a legacy? What are you really thinking about? Uh, are you thinking about what the next 6 months are going to be for you? Are you thinking about the next year? Do you plan on being out of debt or paying off some debt in the next year? Okay, I'm looking to be debt free by the end of this year. Yeah, I've got debt, but not all debt is bad debt, right? So we got to understand this. We got to understand what we're dealing with. That's the financial IQ that I'm mentioning. Literacy is gone. Literacy is past. We need to know financial IQ. What and how do we apply this financial information and strategies to our lives? Because no one size fits all. That's why I tell you everyone to tap in with me. Go to the Legacy Insights podcast, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, share, scan that QR code that's there on the website. Take that financial overview, confirm some things, learn some things. Make sure that you understand the financial vehicles and methods and strategies that are out there. That's what that's all there for, right? Then you can even set up a 30-minute consultation if you'd like, right? I just launched my ebook. Okay, that'll be dropping sometime this month, right? The 6 pillars of the legacy framework. All 6 pillars are in there. It's a very easy read, right? There's some QR codes in there that's going to take you. You scan those QR codes, it'll take you to that overview I just mentioned. Also, like I said, it's a very easy read. All six pillars are there, right? You need to apply this to your life. That's what this show is all about. Actionable solutions. The struggle is real, but so are the solutions. Okay, let's keep it going. Okay, the legacy framework is the antidote to drifting. Not only drifting, but to your life and building your legacy. Let's talk about them. Here are the 6 pillars. The first one is learn. Financial IQ before financial moves. So you got to learn some things, right? This is not a plug and play. Your life is not a video game. Your life is not, what is that? One of one of the best video games out there, right? It's not. What was that game? I forget the name of the video game that just came and left, right? But your life is not a video game, right? You've got to make sure that you are not playing around when it comes to your legacy, when it comes to your money, when it comes to your future, right? What are you doing this for? You just going to work to pay bills? No, no. There's a big world out there and it's getting smaller by the day. Stop scrolling and start going to the places that you're looking at, that you're seeing everybody else enjoying. That's what this show is all about, helping you get to those places and those heights and those dreams, right? But it's got to start with the mindset. It's got to start with the mindset. It's got to start with learning the financial IQ. Second pillar, elevate. Income growth beats budget cutting alone. So in elevate, you got to upskill. Okay, you got to get some side hustles. I've got one episode that's going to be coming out soon. It's going to be talking directly to it. Again, I'm gonna be putting some shorts out that's going to speak to these episodes so that you know that when they're going to be dropping, so that you can tune right in. Okay, but elevate is upskilling. Go get some certifications. Go back to college. All right, get some additional skills that will help get your income up. Okay, and if you're not ready to go back to school, what kind of crafts or personal skills do you have that you can monetize? Right, because it's all about bringing extra income in. It doesn't matter how you get it. Money don't care who owns it. Right? You've ever seen somebody like they like who the hell, what the hell? But they're very wealthy, driving really nice cars. Right? That's not really a sign of either though, right? Because a lot of people, like to live ghetto fabulous, right? They've got a brand new Mercedes and $600 a month payment because they got bad credit, right? And they looking good, but they stressing, right? So but I'm really talking about people who are actually doing the side hustle, making that money and living good, right? Because they got the financial plan in place. They're working on their financial IQ. Okay, so you want to upskill, you want to get that income up, you want to do a side hustle, start a business. Okay, something that you can do, resume writing, um, being a notary, signing contracts for the bank. Um, you could do pottery, anything, cooking, baking, a whole lot of different things. Okay, upskilling in side hustles. That's elevate. Number three, pillar three, guard. But once you start building it, you got to protect it, right? Once you build it, you got to protect it. What's the sense of building it if it's going to all fall apart and you lose every damn thing? It makes no sense. Guard, protect what you built. Insurance, emergency funds. Okay, we're going to talk about that emergency fund because emergency fund is just not extra money that you got laid around that you didn't spend. That's not an emergency fund. An emergency fund is a deliberate fund set aside for rainy days because they coming. They're coming. Okay. Most people would say 6 months. I'm going to tell you 12 to 18 months, if not 24 months worth of savings, if you can get there. Okay. It was a pandemic not too long ago. We need to have that emergency fund on purpose. Okay. Protect what you built. That's pillar number three, guard. Pillar number four, align. Goals, actions, and family vision must match. You ever wonder why most people are disappointed, frustrated, stressing, wondering how to pay the bill? Because they're not in alignment. Their mind, their words, and their actions and their strategies are not going in the same way. You've ever heard somebody say, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this, and oh, yeah, I'm going to do that. They never do anything. It's not their fault. They just don't know that they're not in alignment. They're just not committed to the words and actions that they speak about. They're out of alignment, right? That's pillar number four. You've got to get your goals and your actions and your strategies all going the same direction. Pillar number five, change. If you've always done what you've always done, if you always do what you've always done, you're going to always get what you always got. Okay? Just what it is. If you always do what you've always done, you're going to always get what you always got. That's a long one, but it's true, but it's real. Okay? So, change. Discipline over dopamine. Needs over wants. Talked about those niceties over necessities. It's exactly what it is. Change. You've got to change if you want to grow. You've got to change your behavior if you want something different. Okay? That's just how that works. It's just how it works, right? You see a lot of people, and I've talked about this in previous episodes. They say they want a new car, but they're still holding on to that old piece of junk in their driveway. Well, one day I'm going to fix that up. Well, if you don't have a plan, you don't have a strategy for saving money, you don't have a budget, how are you going to ever fix that car up if you're not upskilling and upselling, upskilling or getting that side hustle, elevating, right? Where's that additional income going to come from to fix that car? Because the budget that you have, the income that you have, is just going right back out to bills because you don't have a budget. Every dollar doesn't have a destination. So how can you save to get that old car out the driveway so that you can get to the new car? You see what I'm going? See, because if you fix the old car up, you get it running, you can get rid of that to some kid, right? You get it running, don't sell a lemon, right? You want to get it running, sell it to somebody who could use it. Take that money, put it with the money that you've been saving because you got a budget, you got a plan, you're in alignment, and you buy your new vehicle because now you've allocated your funds. They have a destination so that now you can go ahead and rise up, keep elevating. And then the last pillar, number 6, is you. Mindset, accountability, and execution. Just talked about it in change. You got to have the mindset, the accountability, and the execution. These are actionable steps. The 6 pillars of the legacy framework. I designed this strategy, this framework, so that anybody, no matter where you are in your life, you can elevate, you can execute, you can hold yourself accountable so that you can reach your goals and dreams. That's what this show is about. Go to the Legacy Insights podcast, hit that subscribe button. Hang in there with me. Tap in. Tell me, hey, Mike, I love what you're talking about. Hey, Mike, can you talk a little bit more about this? Can you, I don't really get what you're saying over here. Give me some feedback. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I want to hear it in the comments, right? Go to Legacy Insights podcast. Hit those comments, hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about it. The pillars don't make you rich. They make you consistent. See? And I really want to touch back. I'm going to read that again. The pillars don't make you rich. They make you consistent. Now, there's a lot of people that you're out here listening to on all these viral videos talking about how they're going to make you rich. And then they show you testimonials of 1 or 2 people. The issue with that is that I am so glad that those individuals that they're working with have made something of their lives. But that is a very small percentage of the people that get these messages from these viral videos and actually execute on what those programs are offering. Now, I hope you got that. It's almost like saying, I'm going to go to the pros in whatever sport or whatever lane that you're in, whether it be cooking, you're going to be a master chef. You know how tough it is to be a master chef? You know how tough it is to be a professional athlete? You know how tough it is to become financially free? And yes, you do know because you're listening to this show, right? These pillars won't make you rich, but they will make you consistent so that you will start turning your life around so that rich has a specific stated goal so that you can hit these goals and keep rising above. See, everybody's going to tell you, oh, you can be a millionaire. You can be. Listen, it's a lot easier to become a millionaire today than it was a few years back. That goes without being said. The issue is, are you consistent enough to make it there. That's what these pillars are designed to do. Build you with confidence, competence, and consistency over time so that you can reach your goals and dreams. Okay? Tap in with me. Go to Legacy Insights Podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about it. Okay, so now this is where we come where the rubber meets the road. I'm going to give you a 1 week mind shift that you should apply. Okay? All right? This is you and I, right? It's us against the world, right? Here we go. I want you to go to get one of these 6 pillars: learn, elevate, guard, align, change in you. And I want you to write down one of those pillars. And then I want you to write down your financial goal for the next 12 months. And I want you to apply one of those pillars to help you get in that goal in the next 12 months. Then I want you to track your spending for the next 7 days. Okay? Get a budget worksheet. You can drop it, you can print them out online. I'm working on all this to make sure that I can not only provide you with a worksheet, but the pillars, the worksheet, the ebook is going to be, like I said, is going to be there for you, right? So that you have these pillars and all this information right in front of you, so that you don't have to go all over getting placed, some from here, some from there. Okay, no, you're going to have it all in one place here. I'm working hard for you, right? Then I want you to, like I said, identify one pillar that you are weakest in. Okay, see, we all know what we're good at. We all know what we're good at, but what are you the weakest in? In these 6 pillars, are you weak at learning? Do you not take time for yourself to learn some new things about the financial IQ, and or about new hobbies, interests, things that'll lower some stress, right? Or about how to create a plan, right? Learn about these things. I'm going to be providing all these resources for you, right? That's why I'm talking about these things, right? Are you weakest at elevating, upskilling, or side hustles, getting a side hustle? Are you weak in that area, bringing in additional income, right? Everybody can use some additional income without overload, right? Now, I'm not talking about working yourself to the bone, but if you need to do that, do it. But if you don't, you want to work smarter, not harder, cut time, make a plan, cut time out so that you can learn, you can elevate, and then guess what? On pillar 3, you can guard all your assets, provide some protection. Do you need more asset protection? Do you know what is not covered? Do you have the proper insurances in savings accounts and checkings account in place? Do you have your emergency fund? Because that emergency fund will guard you as well. If you don't have insurance, at least you should have an emergency fund. Okay? Let's talk about it. Then you need to know, are you weak at alignment? Or are your words or your actions or your strategy not working out for you? Do you need to revisit that? Do you need to take a look at some self-inventory and decide, hey, you know what? I talk a good game, but I'm not walking the talk. You see what I'm saying? Right? Do you need to get stronger in your alignment? That's all we're talking about here. I'm trying to help some people. Right? And then, are you weak at change? You don't, some people don't like change, right? Some people don't like change. So, oh man, I got to do that. I got to stay up a little longer, right? Yeah. If you want to hit your goals. A lot of people say, hey, Mike, well, you've been doing this thing for a long time. When are you going to cut it out? I'm saying, and I tell them until what? Until. That's how long it's going to take. Until I get there. I don't know how long it's going to take. That's the one thing the creator didn't give me, was a crystal ball, right? He didn't give me a crystal ball, but what he gave me a desire in my heart. He gave me a brain that allowed me to learn some things, right? He gave me the freedom of will, of choice, to keep going when things get tough. And I'm sharing those core attributes with you. You can do the same thing with the legacy, the 6 pillars of the legacy framework. Apply them to your life. Change. It's a huge one. Change some things so that you can change your life. And then finally, it comes down to you, right? That 6 pillar. It comes down to you. Are you weak at looking at yourself? Are you weak at really taking an honest appraisal? Ask some of your closest friends, your wife, your spouse, your husband, you know, hon, I know you know me. What can I improve on? Or what can we improve on if you're working as a couple and you're watching this? What can we improve upon so that we can start getting better at one of these pillars that Mike is talking about here? Okay? That's what we're talking about, getting better here. And then I want you to commit to learning before earning more. See, because if you start earning more before you learn more, you're going to waste that too. Okay? Get one of these pillars in line, in under your belt. Get one of these pillars under your belt so that you can do the right thing with it. You can be responsible with it. You get some of these lottery winners or these young athletes. They get these big contracts, and what happens? They have no financial knowledge. They have no financial IQ, right? And what happens? They break their bodies playing these sports, especially the football players. And then when the seasons are over and they get, God forbid they get hurt in the season, now they're out of a job. The contract might pay them, but that money's not going to last. Not with the lifestyles that they lead. I actually heard, and I just to get off the subject for a quick second, I heard a story from one of my mentors about Whoopi Goldberg making $10 million a year, but by the time she pays her expenses, she's down to like $1.2 million. Now, imagine that. You make $10 million a year, but by the time you finish with your lifestyle and everything else, paying your assistants, your travel, the production people, the agents, the financial, you only got left. What you have left is maybe $1 million to $1.5 million after making $10 million a year. See, so please believe me, if you're not making $10 million a year, you don't have that $1 million left over. So you understand where I'm going here, right? Commit to learning before earning more so that you can keep more in your pocket. Okay, so this is a final call to action, and I'm going to let you guys go, right? Legacy doesn't start with money. It starts with a decision. I'm just going to invite you again to go to the Legacy Insights podcast, hit that subscribe button, download the episode, share this with someone that could use this information. Please share this information because it's not just about me. It's not just about you. It's about all of us together, winning together. Okay. And I want you to commit to growing personally. That's that first pillar, learn. Commit to growing personally because it truly is a life lesson. Right. So I'm going to throw out a teaser. Our next episode, episode number 4, is being prepared. Being prepared isn't half the battle. It's the only battle. I'm your host, Mov'n Mike. I want to thank you for the privilege of your time. I want to thank you for showing up, committing to getting better. I am out. Look to see you in the next episode.